Good morning, I guess. It's about 8 o'clock on day 4 now. I got a solid 6 hours of sleep spread out over the last 2 days, 2 nights. So I'm kind of feeling not too awesome. I'm kind of happy that there's not too much going on tonight. I want to see, like tonight or tomorrow morning, so I can finally get a few hours of sleep. I'm usually in the mood where I'm like, I paid a bunch of money for that ticket, I should use it as much as possible. But yesterday evening, because I tried to see as much as possible, I went to that chick flick. I missed my cab and got home like an hour late. That wasn't too cool. So, gonna take it slow today. I just want to see like a couple of things and then I need some sleep. The first talk of today, by the way, is gonna be by a guy called Greg Venter, who is that awesome biochemist, super evil doctor man. I was talking about the question if there's going to be synthetic life in the future, because he is kind of making life in the lab, and that's, I thought about going in that direction someday, so that's super awesome. Yay, we're late, and I fell asleep on the bus.
And that creates some new challenges and definitions of what is life. Yes, we can digitize it. We've been working on trying to pare it down to its most basic components to understand it. And now we're trying to go the other way. We're trying to start with that digital code in the computer. And these are called haploids. So you get a whole set from your father, a whole set from your mother. And we're trying to work back so we can trace the genetic linkages, knowing exactly what you inherited from each of your parents. The study we published in 2007 is actually, I think, one of the most important ones we've ever done, because simply by changing the DNA in a cell, it converted one species into another.
Next topic of the next session coming up now is stupid ideas for websites.
Thanks everybody. So I am Mike Locker, and you might have heard of me because I am very good at the internet. I have introduced stunning innovations into the online space, who's pooping on Twitter, Muppets with people eyes, and Wolfenstein 1D. So you're all welcome, and I hope you listen closely to what I have to say. Now, what I want to talk to you today about is not a website. Record scratch. Why not a website? I thought the web was huge. Wrong. The web is dead. How do we know the web is dead? Simple. This red line shows how much I think people use the web. And this blue line shows how much I think the web is dead. And this is a road stretching into the horizon. Now, I also like to say the names of some companies. Apple, Facebook, Random House, AirTouch, Crate and Barrel, Cracker, and finally, Chili's. So I think we can all agree that these are companies. And this is an @ symbol flying out of a fireball with binary code.
You can't take an unfunny person and just make them funny. Funnier is possible, and a lot of practice. I mean, every year, I think I'm really funny. Until the next year happens, and I look back at the previous year and realize I wasn't that funny.
And if you have to, I think explaining a hashtag at the end of a joke on stage is the quickest way to quickly kill any humor. You see, these are puns based on 80s movies. I should check it out. It's really funny.
I have to write something, and they always say, write what you know. And I definitely know online games. And the internet, I had a Prodigy account. I was my friends. It was like, in the old days. Anywho. So I wrote the script as a half-hour pilot, and I showed it to some people in Hollywood, and they thought, oh, this is interesting, but I don't understand it at all. You should just write a spec script. And I didn't want to, because I really thought that it was good. I really had faith in what I had written, and I felt like it showed, you know, just because they didn't understand what online gaming was, even at the time. It was 2007 or 2006, so it was like so early, it wasn't really mainstream to be an online gamer. And I showed it to my producer, Kim Evie, who had some viral YouTube hits. And again, this was really early. It wasn't really video wasn't being consumed the way it is now at all. And she said, well, we should make this for the web because the people who would enjoy this are on the web. I probably would have donated, but maybe not as much. And I was thinking, that's a really interesting analogy for the internet. I mean, I think that kind of explains a lot about the YouTube phenomenon, which there, you could say, you know, some of the artists on there, the vloggers, the sketch artists, the personalities, they get 9 million hits on one video. And, I mean, they're more than networks on TV. And I think it's the fact that, just like my show, it's hung on personality, and people can identify with that, and you get emotionally involved versus in just a third-person product.
Couple things. One, I'm going to really try to not curse as much this year. This room, I know a lot of you, and I know this space extremely well, and I know companies. This room, and every company out there, by mass percentage, is full of shit when they talk about caring about the customer. I hate when this space says the big guys don't get it and we get it, because nothing for nothing, sorry startups and little entrepreneurs in this room, so few of you talk about the end user and the customer. Because I hear you every day. Here's what I hear from you. We're going to be on Mashable next week. Or that Chris Saka and Dave McClure invested in my company, that's why you should like it. Or we're a mix between Foursquare and Quora with a little Instagram and Path. I don't give a fuck. And you want to hit her on the way to the supermarket so that when she goes in the store, she'll remember the Tide ad and buy Tide. That is so 2005. 7, 3, 2. Two things. Mom is not listening to the radio to the store. Mom is on the cell phone. And hopefully mom's actually talking on the cell phone. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm scared crapless to drive these days. People aren't looking at the billboards. They're not even looking at the fucking road. Shit's getting dangerous out there. Fuck. There's not one person in this room, not one person in this earth that wants to follow somebody on Facebook's page so they can push their fucking commercials on us.
That dude was fucking intense. He's the one who always talks about just cashing in your passion, just doing what you want to do. So, big inspiration for everybody. That massive ballroom, I think it's the biggest one in here, was packed. Last session for today, then we're gonna go to some movies. It's about decluttering your life. It's called the 100 Things Challenge, I think. So basically, getting rid of all your clutter and, yeah, simplifying your life.
My message tonight, I believe, is a hopeful message. A message of encouragement and a challenge. But when we talk about a hopeful message, I think we need to be honest about hopefulness. Because if we're not honest with our hopes and our aspirations, right, then it's just simply wishful thinking. And when we're honest about hope, we have to deal with something. Namely, that hope always requires that we go through some amount of grief or sorrow.
That was so not filmable. Like, I wasn't expecting too much, but I was expecting more than nothing. He hasn't talked about the 100 Thing Challenge at all, more like his family history and why consumerism is bad, which is right, of course, but nothing about like what we're actually supposed to do. Now I'm heading over to see a movie, so the session part of today is done. It's called Beginners. It is with Ian McGregor, about his recently deceased father who came out as gay after 45 years of marriage at the age of 75, so that's probably interesting. The line for that one was far too long, so I'm now gonna have a look at something completely random. Title Design Awards.
We have a really cool, amazing group of title sequence finalists this year.
That was a collection of, I think, 17 of the intros, some of the movies that have been shown here, and it's just a rating, like a contest, and you're gonna pick the title winner, I think, tomorrow. And now I'm heading over to the Paramount again for a 15-year-old movie. Isn't it cool news, something like that? No idea what that is. I'm kind of like super tired, but that's the last thing I want to do for today. No idea what I have to expect yet again, but it's another hour of waiting in line.
I took to the internet kind of early, and I understood that there was a person somewhere in Austin, Texas that had changed the world somehow and changed movie-going somehow. So this is a big surprise. But I just had total confidence that it was going to be super cool, because he knows how to do this stuff better than I do. And I just want to give the warmest welcome and honor to Mr. Harry Knowles.
Just so you know, I literally broke my back to bring this film here tonight. And what Ain't It Cool to me has always been about is about championing stuff that we fucking love. I'm a big Xanadu fan. I love Xanadu. I did spend a lot of semen with the film for a lot of years because I loved her so much. And I still do love Olivia Newton-John. And I said it earlier at a panel. And if it were left to me, I would be showing Xanadu right now. What's kind of cool about this is when the person who's off stage said we should do the title that we're showing. You know, I thought, you know what's perfect about it is actually Quint's print. It's one of Quint's actual films. And because this is one of those movies that if you don't love it, you're not a fucking film geek. Okay? And if you don't love it because you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat tonight. So before anything else, let me bring out my dear friend, Guillermo del Toro.
It's very easy. I mean, the rule, Theodore Sturgeon had a rule that is absolutely true, which is 90% of everything is shit. 90% of the films, the novels, the music is shit. I have the opposite rule, which is the Del Toro rule. 10% of everything is fucking awesome. So tonight, you know, we debated and debated what to show. We were saying, oh, La Belle and la Bête, Vampire, you know, Nosferatu. And we were saying, well, all those things are going to be shown in a cinematheque somewhere. People really know it. And we went to a proto-geek film. A movie that is incredibly important for us, but certainly for me. In my early years, I was just destroyed by this movie. The movie is Dragon Slayer, shot in 1989.
Okay, I kind of got it wrong. The reason there was a screening was that his movie, Ain't It Cool News, Ain't It Cool, no idea, has been released 15 years ago. Doesn't mean that we're gonna watch that movie, so we've been watching Dragon Slayer. And there was like a super secret screening, so nobody knew what that movie was, like what movie would be shown. And while we've been standing in line, a creepy guy in a black hat came up to me, was like, "Why are you standing in line? Why are you standing? What are you standing in line for?" Apparently, in his tiny head there was like a camera, and he told us that we were on Conan O'Brien Live, which was kind of completely weird. They're still talking about monsters in there. I'm just gonna head back now. Tomorrow, music's gonna start with the first few acts. That's gonna be interesting. Which means that the interactive part is almost over. So it's gonna be some overlapping between. There's gonna be some overlap between film and music, but mostly music sessions and a couple of. Like 5 hours of live music in the evening, which is gonna be epic. I've been waiting for music so far, and I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow I'm gonna see like 1-2 actors for now, but the next days after that, awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.